maybe we can get started. Wujong, is this you added this first topic?
Yes, correct. Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the first one for SD-WAN, last week we finally engineering team finally completed the CI migration from Jenkins to GitHub Action. So if you click the link, you can see the design of what we did and what repository is affected. So you can simply just check, and at the end of this page there are some repo list. So I updated them so that all the repository now use GitHub Action to check, build, scan the code, and even tagging repository as well as publishing Docker images and Helm-chart. So everything looks good so far, but if there is some issue happens, please reach out to me. So that is about the SD-WAN CI migration, and the release update. So the original plan was that in June we will try to deliver the SD-WAN release 1.5, but it's a bit getting delayed due to some dependable issues. So we are still fixing it, but still we need a bit more time. So we will release the SD-WAN 1.5 in July. So that is the SD-WAN update.
Okay, thank you. And how about testing? Is the qualification of this release, is it
so
Kunal,
yeah doing? So there is, well, currently the sorry, GitHub Action runs the unit test. So that is the only test case for the SD-WAN quality check. So previously in 1.4 we had a integration test, but that requires some special devices installed to the physical server, etc. So we could not run that integration test. So for 1.5, I believe we should run some tests manually. I mean, the engineering team will run some tests manually, and if all the test cases pass, then we will release 1.5. There is no other automation test for 1.5, but we will try to integrate it for the next release. I mean 1.6 or beyond release.
Okay. Thank you, Wujong. So, and you have like any date in mind for this release? Any specific date?
So only one, that is we are trying to implement the scalable range simulator, but I'm not pretty much sure how. Still it's ongoing, but I'm not sure if we can deliver it in time or not. So if we could not do that, then we will change some scope. Like 1.5 doesn't deliver scalable range simulator, but we will deliver it in 1.6, something like that. Okay. So we are evaluating, but not decided yet. Other than that, everything is good. Yeah.
Thank you. How about Kunal? You have the Jenkins update?
Yes, Ajay. So there was a new group command issue that due to which all our test cases or the integration tests were getting into a hang state. So I worked with Bilal on this, and the issue is fixed now. All our native tests are up and running now. However, we are still seeing an issue where some of the, during some of the tests, we are seeing that the GNB SIM tests are getting failed. So we have seen a registration request, reject request. So due to that, even I think there is a failure in few test cases. Other than that, all the native tests are up. Regarding
when you say native, can you probably clarify what exactly it
Yep.
means?
These are on-ramp integration tests.
I
So
see.
these are
Okay.
basic deployment tests and with GNB SIM tests running on it.
Okay.
Mhm.
And how about this
Then
JJB thing? Mhm.
yeah, so for JJB, there was an issue where the if the job is created and then we delete and try to recreate that job, then the job was not getting created and it was not throwing any error as well. So, but with a different name, it was able to get created. So due to that, I had to discuss it with JJB people where they have a Google group. So I
Mhm.
shared it with them and they asked me to upgrade the JJB to from 3.2 to 6.0. So still I'm seeing the same issue. So I'll work with them and see if we can have a fix on this.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else you're doing on the test front?
Right now, no, we do not have any other thing.
Okay. So Timon, I will go ahead and add some SD core update here, which I forgot to put the bullet here. So while I speak, I'll just add the bullet point here as well. So on the spec upgrade or 3GPP specification upgrade, there are two things I can see started. First is like SBI interface upgrade. I have shared all the groundwork, whatever I had done in the past with Gabriel. And as soon as he comes back from his vacation, he should start using those nodes to create the mm, auto-generated code from the open API spec for the SBI interface upgrade, right? So that's something we are planning to get release 18 compliance, on, at least on the SBI interface. So that's one work we have started. The second thing, what I see is that Canonical team has started the Go PFCP. So I'll just give some context about what is this. So currently SMF is using the our own PFCP stack, using local stack, okay, local PFCP stack. And this means that every time we are upgrading the PFCP specification, we need to go and hand code that, like we have to literally go in each and every file and update the PFCP specification. So instead of that, oh, what happened? Instead of that, what is decided that using the Go PFCP library, which is an open source, which is used by the UPF as well. So we want to use this Go PFCP in the SMF. In SMF. And Canonical team has started doing this work. They have raised the PR with the draft state. So this will really help us to migrate the PFCP version quickly, because this project is being active there and we will get all the fixes easily. And so that's the second front on the specification upgrade. And the other thing what I see is that there are some big work in progress PRs. One is like making the AMF run AMF independent of run AMF independent of MongoDB. There are some comments are provided, and hopefully if those comments are resolved. But I think I had chat with one of the developer who is doing it, so, and he has done all the things right as of today. So if those things continue, then we'll have these things merged. And then there is a web console has some changes coming in to have some static page. This I'm yet to review this, but this is one more big change coming into the web console, which is nothing but our northbound interface for the SD core. And these are the few things happening on the SD core side. Anybody has any question on this update? No, okay. So Timon, I think next bullet is yours.
It is. So I wanted to share with this group that there's been some ongoing activity to seek sort of strategic alignment across the Linux Foundation portfolio of mobile projects. And we have another meeting later this afternoon. This will be the third meeting. And I'd like to maybe, and when Larry's back, maybe report more fully, but I want to just provide a quick update that the two biggest pieces, of course, are the core and the RAN side. And so on the core side, it's actually pretty straightforward, and there's kind of agreement that SD core sort of becomes the sort of the de facto core for LF, and it's added to the 5G super blueprint.
And Timon, yeah, what does this mean? Like you say, so it's going to be part of the super blueprint instead of the Ops 5GS, or?
Well, really, Magma today is really what's in there, and there's kind of broad agreement and alignment that Magma is not,
yeah, it's not standard. Yeah,
it's not 5G. It's a bunch of things, and it's not getting the same development support. And so, there's really no contention here. But I think that there's effectively a technical effort and a marketing effort. I mean, I think that the technical effort is that LF wants to see Nefio support, I guess, basically making, I think Nefio has blueprints or something similar. For us, it's sort of a cloud native telco, deployment blueprints. I think of it as sort of as a Crano for cloud a little bit. Not entirely clear exactly who would do that work, but that's something that LF wants to see. And then there's really a marketing effort. It's sort of like packaging, doc, presentation kind of stuff, website, so that it's kind of clear what pieces are the primarily the recommended supported pieces from LF. So I think it's very good news for SD Core.
Yeah.
And I want to bring that back here and bring some of this brain trust, connect it on the right side here to kind of drive this forward. I think this would be really good for the project. Then on the RAN side,
and then Timon, sorry to get you. This will come also with marketing and advertisement and collateral stuff, or just saying SD Core is part of the is a recommended one. Do they gonna put some weight behind it, or?
So, I don't know exactly what that looks like yet. I mean, I did write down marketing effort and a number of things, and so, I want to see that. I think that's still yet to be precisely defined. And part of it is just kind of getting the resources behind it to kind of put that together. But I think there is definitely a desire to see that all kind of come together.
Okay, great.
And then on the RAN side, there is sort of a recognition that an open source, open RAN stack, that there's not precise clarity across the industry about what pieces are, I mean, there are two different, like SD-RAN is a near real-time controller, and there's also a project from OSC. And there's also a broad desire to see an open CUDU, as well as RIC and XApps and RApps and SMO and all of that. So the plan right now is to commission a report, and we have been working and now sort of have agreement that we're going to hire Ramito. And for those of you who know this space, Ramito has been a consultant who's actually pretty well versed in the space, and actually pretty well versed in SD-RAN as well, which is good. To just really do an evaluation across the space and come up with some recommendations and try to help bring the industry together and try to solidify, around a common set of projects if possible. So I pasted into here a working document, which is a draft of a statement of work. And I don't know why it pasted the way it did as a widget. If anybody knows, instead of just the URL, I'm not sure what that's about with the wiki here, but Woojun, I was thinking that maybe it would be really good if you could take a look at the statement of work. It's kind of documenting the pieces that should be considered, including from OSC and from OAI and from SD-RAN and from ONAP project for SMO and that kind of thing. And so good for us to have a perspective for all of ONF's work and legacy work kind of incorporated into this statement of work. And then also we're, and question on that, I heard,
No, I just want to say, sure, yeah.
Yeah. Can you open that URL? I don't know if, what's going on with that URL wiki paste thing. I can paste it to chat too, and I'll give you a share if you ask for a share of that. And it's pretty straightforward. You could just go in and make comments. Yeah, it's let's see. It's not just publicly accessible right now. So just if individually, if you guys would ask, anybody wants it, ask for shares, I'll share it. Actually, if you want to take a minute and for this group to look at it, you're more than welcome. And let me change permission so you can open it. Let me see how this was set up. All right, it's updated. You want to try and open it again? So refresh to that.
Yeah, you can see my screen.
Yep, there it is, So generally speaking, maybe we don't go through line by line, but the scope is really to evaluate some of the common components out there around near real-time RIC, trying to identify what they are, and then kind of analyze them and really spend some time kind of looking at the different pieces and try to really identify the pros and cons. And write a report, with the report being kind of due around the end of the year for final submission of the report. And then there's some background. And encourage all of you to, anybody who's interested or, please, this is a good time to get your, get thoughts in here for what we should be looking at and whatnot. And then additionally, we're going to talk to LF, but I think we're going to try to assemble sort of a working committee to work with Remito and to just, I don't know, answer questions and interact and whatnot too. So there's, the spectrum of perspectives available to work with them as we work through this. Any questions on this?
No,
All right, good.
sounds good.
Yeah, so I will continue to kind of report back here and as things develop, hopefully pull some of you in on this as well. Yeah, I think it's a good positive direction. It's been just, a little slower through the summer here for various reasons, but, I think that there's pretty broad consensus that this is a good time for us to try to pull the industry together on multiple fronts to, build more critical mass around a more select set of projects. So. Yeah, I'm really encouraged by this. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, literally something going on here with the font. Okay. Okay, so we reached the end of the agenda. Anybody has any specific thing? No? Okay, thank you. Thank you all then. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jack.
Bye all.